How are you?
I'm very good. Today with beauty, you have that freedom.
I think we have that in the same process. Everything's possible.
I agree. You never feel bored in this world.
No.
That
Yes.
is the key
Yes.
to the modern world.
Can you recall the time you first met Pat?
Yes, of course. And I have a very vivid memory about it. I first have to say that I was very intimidated. Yeah, of course. I was dreaming to meet you and to work with you was not even a question at the time.
The feeling was mutual.
I didn't know at the time, but so to be precise, I was on holidays with my best friend. We went to that Japanese restaurant, and next table was not only Pat McGrath, but Stephen Maisel too.
But for me, it feels like I've known you my whole life. Do you know what I mean? I really do. And that's when I heard the question, when did you meet? I'm like, it feels like it's a lifetime of knowing one another, right? I just remember walking into your studio the first time and seeing all of the design of the collection, and the inspiration and the looks just hit me, and you would always tell such an amazing story.
We have this I think, expectation for something first classic in the academical, beautiful way, but that is questioning sometimes rules.
Yeah,
that is, playing with timeless, experimental thing.
Yes.
Also, it's this never-ending research.
Yes.
Somehow, with new way of doing classical things.
Absolutely, and I always know you always want to push and do something different, but then something that's not too forceful. I always love that weeks before you will send me your ideas of makeup and the looks. You always were weeks ahead and giving us time to experiment and try ideas. We have quite a while with all the time that we've worked together. And I love that because it's almost like, for me, it's almost like making a movie.
Right.
It's almost,
yeah.
You set the scene, you give us the ideas, and then so we're able to take it beyond normal, to new places.
This continuous discussion, dialogue between us artistically is taking so many different shape and more that in a way it's beautiful to have our own aesthetical vocabulary.
Yes.
And to have this ground, can I say that in English? These fundamentals to play so much.
Love it. And also I love that there's always, I could never rest on my laurels, there's always a surprise. There's always a surprise. You don't be thinking. It could be quite natural or then it's something absolutely wild.
There's always a little stress about not being bored, but it's also, when you have long relationship, you also want to surprise the people you love to be with.
Yes. And it always is.
Yeah.
Always is. I mean...
So I'm glad it's working.
It is.
But I always wanted to ask you, what was your first revelation? You can say that?
Yeah.
What was the moment when you realized you wanted to do that?
I mean, mine was my mother was obsessed with it. So I've got a real story of, as a child, I've told this story so many times, but it was as a child, she would force me to shop for makeup as a child with her.
Huh.
So we had a routine and it ended up being what I love doing. So we'd start and look at the Vogue patterns. Wow. So I'd have to go and look at all the patterns with her. And I was crying. I didn't want to do it. So my whole life was this every week. Going to look at the patterns, then going to find the fabrics, and then going to look for the makeup.
Oh my God.
So that's my whole life with my mother. And I was the one that was the youngest and forced to do it. And then looking for pigments that were right for my skin color because there were not that many. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
So it was a real thing for my mother. And she was obsessed with fashion. I was obsessed with fashion. My walls were just covered with shoes, bags, clothing, makeup. So it was just a whole mood board. My life was that as a child.
Amazing.
So I was doing that from I was 5. That's how that happened. And it just was a natural, and it really is my happy place,
Good for us.
Yeah,
Good for us.
And usually when I've found, once I've seen the ideas, the first dialogue, the first look, whether it's characters, whether it's archive, images, then we start to do the makeup in New York, and we just start. And it's really great because you have that freedom, and we do have the time to do all levels, don't we, of the looks. We really meticulously show the makeup almost from 0 to 100. And also even down to, the young people that we're testing on, we make sure the character matches as well.
Completely.
To help everybody to see the makeup, right? For you all to see the makeup.
When I think it's what is important for Vuitton in general is to invite as much people as possible to the table. Yeah. So you have to have an universal ID somehow, and then it becomes more specific with again the character we are building. And it's when I receive your research, it's always very, very inspiring.
So it's a form of self-expression. And it is great that you can go completely crazy, or you can wear, really natural and play up your skin. I love the fact that today with beauty, you have that freedom.
Right.
I remember when I first started, in makeup, it was definitely, you had to do all nudes, or you had to do this. And I was like, no. And I'd see people in the street, whether it was someone who was like a lady walking in the street and she had her old lipstick from the 50s. And the boldness of that color in the street felt like rebellion. Like it was electrifying. So that's what I knew it would look like in our shoots or on shows. And these are the colors that needed to come back. Yeah. But also the difference is to place it on natural skin. That was the key to the modern world.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel that's something I started my career.
Yes. Well, we were talking about a lip journey, and this journey was very abstract. It was about a forbidden city, kind of a underwater city. It was really like epic somehow. And so we start to think about who was the character? How was she going to look like?
And we did the different reds and burgundies because you wanted strong mouth. Yeah. And you wanted the mirror. Yeah. The mouth to be mirrored like the set and this new world. And so we did, and it was. I remember there were so many girls, and we had to put the gloss on the mouth just before the show began. Yes. So that the girls walked out with these perfect mirrored lips.
I mean, everyone has seen hundreds of images and videos of backstage, but there's a ballet going on, That is very unique at that moment. Definitely. And there's no lead dancer in that ballet. You see what I mean? And even we want to touch the clothes. I mean, everyone wants to have the last word.
Yes. And we never really get in each other's way. Because we know we respect each other's space. But it is really kind of magical.
No kicking. No. No, fashion is
no kicking, ever.
There is the Autumn-Winter 2019 collection, which was very future-facing and also incredibly memorable. And Pat, I'd love it if you could describe this. If you could describe this in one word, what would it be?
Oh, wow. Fearless. That's a good story.
That's a good one, too. Oh, yeah. That collection reflects a very... it was the crossroad of many communities together in Paris between the Museum of Beaubourg and at the time another area of Paris. And how when I was young, I was inspired by seeing so many people that are so different expressing themselves with makeup, clothes and everything, and the richness of our world when it's mixed.
And I'll never forget when you told me this is where you wanted to go. I was like, wow, would you go the whole way? Yeah. And you went the whole way. And it was incredible. The smoked out eyes, the blush on the cheeks, the richest red lips. You wanted to go all the way. Yeah. And to take it there and, with a touch of 80s, touch of 70s, but for it to be modern. Yes. And it looked modern. And that's not an easy thing to do with all eyes, lips, cheeks, everything at once.
Yes, yeah.
Spring, summer 2020. I personally remember that being there. That was one of my favorites, actually.
Another lips.
And then the strong
that was
lips.
amazing.
Another strong lip, yeah.
Yeah.
Another lip. Yeah,
That
Sophie.
was gorgeous, based on
Beautiful.
on the beautiful Sophie, who is not with us anymore. But
Yes.
it was so sad. But I remember you showed me the image, and you were like, let's create that look, Sophie's look on everybody. And that was such a beautiful show. It's so powerful. The
Very
screen
powerful. Yeah.
at the back with Sophie on the back. And then I remember we bleached the eyebrows
Yes.
and we overdrew all the lips and we put gloss on them. We used pencils. We used color. It was a real new structure of a mouth, which actually a lot of people are doing right now, which is we overdrew the pencil into the back.
The shape,
The
right?
shape, yeah. And put the pencil into the back of behind, over the lips, and highlighted.
It was such an emotional show, you know. I really wanted to celebrate the trans identity and many other people, but also to celebrate Sophie and who she was and how inspiring she was for people. It was really crazy the way you developed so many Sophie's and aspect of her in the different models. So yeah, it was a very important show.
So good.
And then there's the Autumn/Winter 2023 collection, which is quite striking because that goes in a different direction. What made this particular show moment and look so special to you?
Well, this show was designed with Philippe Parreno, the French artist. So it was a very French identity, but expressing how France is rich because it's a mix of many different people again. And the collection was very like that. It was a wardrobe, very wearable, I would say, and it's not bad to say that. You know, it's cool to have also sometimes collection that seems very easy to wear right away. And I remember the extraordinary had to come from you. Yeah. So you came with the idea of the mirrors, and we had at some point those crazy masks with lighting.
Oh yes, I remember that.
So that was really the extraordinary touch that you gave to the face for that collection. Yeah.
And I remember that we used actual, mirrors that went under the eyes so that they would reflect.
Yes.
Walking through all the different spaces. It was just incredible. And we did, different designs or different amounts under the eyes.
Different positions
too,
different
right?
Positions.
Yeah. I remember years ago buying those mirrors and having them saved and praying that one day I'd be able to use them. And we did. We used them.
That's true.
I mean, I just remember you saying about with Spring Summer 24, you just wanted everybody to look really beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
And it
quite natural, right?
Natural.
Yeah.
And we developed this soft smoke eye and this beautiful makeup on everybody.
Glowing,
and everybody was glowing. And you, I remember you were so happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was so important.
What excites you most about the coming launch, the coming LV Beauty launch?
We are partner and friends, but we are partner in creation first also. And at LV, I think that's what is so exciting. I mean, we will discuss even more about things. We will have even more projects coming.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many. And I have the feeling that it's about writing a story at Louis Vuitton. So
I agree.
I've been writing for a few years. You starting to write. We will write a story together.
Yes.
So what is most beautiful than that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, and I really cannot wait for us to unveil everything and for everybody to see everything, because it is so beautiful and innovative and fun and luxurious. And just you wait.
Yes, we can't wait.
We can't wait.
And then my final question is, I'd love to hear you both talk about the similarities between your your practices, what you do. I mean, what are the synergies that you see between fashion design and makeup artistry?
I think the freedom of research and of artistic direction, when there's a white page and everything's possible, I think we both share that. We start from nothing, even if there's a lot. It's always a new beginning.
Yeah.
And I think we have that in the same process. Everything's possible. It's a new beginning. That's what is, again, very magical, because there's not a routine. There's never a feeling of, oh my God, we have to do it again or something like that. It's like, it's like...
You never feel bored in this world. No. That's why I always have felt blessed.
Yeah.
Being able to do what I do. Don't you? I always felt blessed, because this is why I was doing this as a child, and I'm doing it now.
Yes.
And endless possibilities.
Yeah.
And we can just dream and go there and make them realities.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful note to end on. Thank you both.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.